Okay. I think we're all set up. Let's get tying. So today we're going to be tying a chironomid. This is the fly that we actually, it's not the exact fly that my buddy caught that fish on, but this is the one that we had the most luck on that whole day. We caught a lot of fish on this fly, but the one he caught it on was a very similar one. It just uses a different color bead. It uses it's called a Chironomid. I only have black beads, so that's what I'm going to be tying it on. But this is what I was using, and I was catching a ton of fish on it. But it's a great ice-off pattern, and just lake pattern in general, and it's very simple and easy to tie. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the hook on, and for the hook we are using these size number 10 hooks right here, and these are from Umpqua, I believe. So to start this fly, we're going to keep that bead all the way to the back, and we're going to start wrapping. Then real quick, I'm just going to make sure my camera's in focus. Okay, that should be good. How's it going, Harple? Graywall, not sure if I said that right, but thanks for the comment. Okay, so now I got that started. I'm going to snip it right here. I'm going to get some sharper scissors. And we're going to take some of this MFC, just some little white fibers right there. And this is what we're going to use for the very front. So we're just going to snip a little bit of that. Doesn't take much. And we're just going to tie that right on the front. And then we'll kind of snip this back part off, and we'll kind of ramp it down. And then work that all the way to the eye of the hook. And as we go back, we'll just secure all those fibers. And then right here, I'm going to whip finish this part. And then we'll snip that thread. Then we're going to slide that bead forward all the way to the front. And then we're going to retie on behind the bead. And then now it's time to just kind of give some wraps. Fold down all those fibers so nothing's sticking out. And then we're going to grab some wire. I use some copper wire for this. Let's see. Now this is pretty thin copper wire. Nothing crazy. We're going to tie that in and work it all the way to the very back of the hook. And then we'll work to the front of the hook. And we're just going to keep going back and forth while we kind of build up some bulk to the fly. I only have, the black thread I'm using is pretty thin. So if you have thicker thread, I would recommend using it. I just ran out, so I'm using this thin stuff. So it's just going to take me a few more wraps to get this where it needs to be. Yes, we can also snip off that front part to give, there we go, the little white fluff in the front. And then we'll just keep wrapping. Just adding bulk to the fly. Like I said, it helps if you have some thicker thread. This is just all I got. I'm not teaching exactly how to tie the knot, Mason, but I do have some videos on how to tie it. I'm currently just kind of showing how to tie this midge pattern. This is a chironomid, and me and my buddies, we went fishing during ice off, and we caught a lot of good fish on this fly, so I thought I'd make a tutorial on how to tie it. Okay, got that there. So now I'm going to put a little knot in right there to secure it, and we'll stow our thread out of the way. Then we're going to take our hackle pliers, and we're just going to clip that on. And then we're going to wrap it, nice tight spiral wraps, keeping them nice and even. And we're just going to work that to the front of the hook. Okay. We'll do a couple wraps to kind of secure that. And then we can helicopter off that wire. And we'll just make sure that's secure. And then we'll whip finish. So to do the whip finish, we're just going to hook this on right here. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, and then it goes right there. I'll fold that over, and that helps create a nice quick knot. Then we secure it. And we'll snip that. Then we're going to add on some glue. Now I'm using this stuff right here. This is a UV glue, so it only dries once it gets hit with the UV light. So we're going to coat the body in that. And then we'll hit it with the light. Okay, and there we have it. Nice little chironomid. This is a great lake pattern. And for those of you who are just turning in, we're going to tie the same pattern. So if you guys started watching in the middle, we're going to start from the very beginning. If you guys have any questions too, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. And if you guys want to see the video that video where my buddy caught just this massive 24-inch cutthroat, check it out on my channel. It's titled "This is the Reason Why We Fly Fish During Ice Off." It was a really, really awesome fish that he caught. I was quite jealous, but I'm glad that I was able to be there to experience it with him. It was it was a huge cutthroat, one of the biggest ones I've seen. And it wasn't in Pyramid Lake. That's the crazy thing, is most big cutthroats you see online, they're all caught out of Pyramid Lake. This one was not. Okay, so we've got the black bead on there. And then we just started our thread at the very front. We're pushing the bead in the back for right now because we don't quite need it. First, we need to add on this little white fluff we're going to put in the front. This is just some MFC fibers. So we're going to take just a little bit of that stuff, and we're going to tie it right there in the front. Keeping that on top. And it just wants to spin around. cut it. We're going to kind of angle it so it slopes down. And then we'll just keep wrapping all the way to the back. Then from here, we're just going to whip finish it. And we'll snip the thread and then slide the bead forward. Slide that bead to the front. And then we'll tie our thread back on behind that bead. And then now we're just going to wrap it down, cover up a lot of those fibers. And we're going to add on some copper wire. So we're just using this stuff right here. Yeah, I've been doing kind of warming up, so I've been out fishing a lot. But thanks for the comic, Manic. I appreciate you tuning in. This is kind of the season when I start doing a lot more of like my film type content. I mostly do my fly tying stuff during the winter. But we had such a good day on this fly fishing ice off, I wanted to show it to you guys. Because yeah, we caught a ton of fish on this thing. If you guys don't know what ice off fishing is, that's when, it's usually during the spring when the ice starts to melt off a lake. You catch it when the ice is off enough to fish from the bank, but it's not completely off the reservoir. Because the ice will melt from the bank to the middle. And so usually if you catch it when there's like 20 to 30 feet of open water, it can be one of the best times to fish out of the whole year. And so me and my friends, we always go during that time. And it's kind of tricky timing the lake, right? But I use a lot of Facebook forums and stuff to kind of monitor these lakes. Kind of get information from people that drive up there and stuff. Or I just drive up and check it myself. But yeah, once the lakes start to kind of melt and there's that little bit of open water, while there's still ice on the lake, that can be such a good time to fish. And that's what we fished when we were using this fly. And yeah, we caught tons. A lot of splake, a lot of cutthroat, got into some tigers, and more rainbows than I can count. See if I can fold down. I got a couple fibers that are sticking out. Okay, so now I'm just adding some bolt to the fly. If you guys have thicker black thread, it makes this easier, but I ran out, so all I have is this thin stuff. So I just got to do more wraps to get the same result. Seriously though, if anyone watching has any questions, drop them in the comments. We'd love to chat with you guys. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to clip our hackle pliers on, and then we'll actually tie a quick little knot to kind of get this thread out of the way. And then we're just going to wrap up the sides, creating spiral wraps, keeping them as even as possible. And we're just working up to the front of the hook. How's it going, BR Outdoors? Thanks for watching. Actually, back wrap that a little bit. Just kind of got too close together. And then now we got that secured, we're just going to helicopter it off. And then we'll whip finish. And then we still have to trim up the fly and add some glue onto it. Okay, and then we're going to trim up that front. We don't want a ton, just a little bit right there in the front. It doesn't take much. Like that. Okay, then we're we're going to take our UV glue. We're going to put it on. If you guys haven't seen this stuff before, this is a glue that only dries once you hit it with a UV light. I guess technically it's a resin. And then I put a little much on there, so I'm going to take some foam and just kind of pull it off. Okay, and we just hit it with the UV light. Looks like we've got a couple little fibers sticking out the sides right there. Nothing that's going to affect it though. Okay, and there we have it. Nice little chironomid pattern. Now if you guys are just tuning in, we're going to tie the same fly so you guys can see it from the beginning. And real quick, I'm just going to go open my door real quick. My computer is heating up this room and I don't want my camera to overheat. Okay. And then for this fly, it's my camera wigging out. Okay, looks like we're back. Let's see, sounds good. By the time I fish, oh, you go for steelhead? Nice. Yeah, I've been wanting to get up for steelhead, but I didn't end up making it up this year. Nice, getting some worms from the park. That's cool. I used to, when I was growing up, we had one of those staircases that went down to the basement. And at the bottom, a lot of leaves would collect. And it was a really good spot to grab worms when I was heading over to the local ponds. Yeah. You want to come say hi? My wife's here if you guys want to say hi.
Hi, stream.
If you guys want to check out a stream where she's tying the flies, I've got one on my channel. She tied one of her favorite streamer patterns. Alright, got that secure. So we're going to slide that bead back. We're going to start with our thread. Now we're leaving the bead in the back right now just because we need to add on some stuff to the front before we slide that over. So we're just starting our thread. Get some good wraps in there. Then we're going to take these white fibers. These are from MFC. We're going to add this on for the front. If you guys haven't seen the video where we were fishing this fly, check it out. It's a 26-minute long little short film that I made of us fishing ice off. My buddy got into a huge cutthroat, but it was a fun adventure, and yeah, put it up on your TV. It's a good watch. I might be a little biased, but I highly recommend it. I edited it for like several days, and I still enjoyed watching it afterwards, despite replaying it like a bajillion times. Okay. So we got that white stuff tied in. Now I'm just going to do some more wraps, just kind of seal it all up. And we'll work it back to the front of the hook. And then we'll whip finish that. And then we can snip it off right here. And then we're going to slide that bead forward. And then we'll wrap our thread back on behind the bead. If you guys want to check out any of the tools or anything that I'm using for tying today, I do have links in the bios of all my fly tying videos to the vise and a lot of the materials that I use as well. And that link will also save you 15% off at checkout. It's to moonlitflyfishing.com. Or you can use my first and last name, full caps, Dallin or Fell, and that code will save you the 15% off as well. Okay. Now I'm going to just wrap to the back, and we're going to add on our copper wire. put that? Oh, it's over here. So we're going to tie that in. I like to try to keep it on top. Okay, now I'm just adding bulk to the fly. And like I mentioned earlier, I do not have very thick thread. I'm kind of down to my thinner stuff. I need to get some more, so I just got to do more wraps to add the bulk to the fly. So it's just a matter of going back and forth, covering all that up. Get a little more right there in the front. If you guys have any questions too, feel free to leave them in the comments. Love the chat. Like this post too. Let's help boost this to more viewers. Okay. I think just a little more and then we should be good. You don't need to add a lot of bulk to this. You want to keep it pretty thin, but not too thin. So now I'm tying a little knot there. Then we're going to stow the thread out of the way. And then we'll take our hackle pliers. And then just clip it on right there. And then we're wrapping this in spiral wraps, keeping them as even as possible, making them fairly tight. And we wrap that all the way to the eye of the hook. Okay, then we'll secure that with our thread. And then we'll do a helicopter and finish it. Just kind of break that wire off. Overheated. So let's get that running again. Okay. And we're rolling again. Sorry about that, guys. This will probably be the last fly, and then I'm going to hop off because the camera's starting to overheat. So then, I'm just going to whip finish. And then we'll clip that off. Then we'll trim up the front of this. We don't want it too long. So that's all we really need right there. And then we're going to add in our UV glue. Let's see. How's the middle weaver fishing? I fished it. Me and my wife floated it the other day. And we caught a couple fish on just warm San Juan worms. It's pretty muddy right now though, so it wasn't the greatest. Well, that's not. I guess that was technically the low, but we floated the section from Hennifer to Taggart's. So, but I haven't fished the middle Weaver River in a hot minute, so I couldn't tell you. Let's see. Ever watched Brian? I don't think I have, Manic. Okay, we're gonna take off a little excess of that glue. Put a little too much on. So I'm just using a piece of foam to kind of scrape it off. This also helps show the segments in the fly better, which I do think helps get a little bit more bites. Okay. Now we're just going to hit it with a UV light. Alrighty, and there we go. Okay, that's going to be the last fly for the night. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys want to check out more of my stuff, check out my channel. And specifically check out the most recent full video I did where we fly fish during ice off and my buddy caught a 24-inch cutthroat. You guys don't want to miss that one. That was a really